All right, everyone. Welcome for joining us here. This is the Social Kick podcast, Facebook Live, whatever we're calling it nowadays. I'm here with a few of my great swimming friends. I have Justin, the young one, babyface. We have Luke, the historian, international, or what was it, Mr. Worldwide, is what is going on in the Slack channel here. And then we have Iron Mountain Man, Iron Brian. How are you guys doing tonight? What are you drinking?
Doing good, John. What's going on?
Not much, man. I'm just drinking water here tonight. I got to jet a little early, actually. I have a session after this, but nonetheless, what are you guys drinking?
So I'm trying a new one. It's the Drake's Kickback IPA.
Right.
I haven't had this one before, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I'm like halfway through this one. And so I got a couple. The Whole Foods has a few of these Tall Boy Founders all-day IPAs.
Nice.
$2 for $4, not bad. So, yeah, those are my backups. Luke, what do you got?
I got the San Diego Special Modern Times Hazy IPA. It's a good one. It's tall, it's strong, it's ready. What about you, Justin?
Is that how you drink now? I guess it's shelter in place. We're not going out to get anything else, right?
No. Is that a rum? You don't want me to be talking over rum, so we're good.
Well, I was going to unretire the core water bottle, but in light of one of my best friend's birthday was this past Monday, so he's been drinking my favorite beer, Corona. So I got a Tall Boy Corona earlier this week. Back to you, John.
All right, enough about you guys. We got a very special guest here that I'm very excited to announce here. So we have Katie McLaughin here. She's a Cal swimmer. She is a former world champion. Everyone that knows swimming knows Katie, let's be honest here. All right, she's one of the top swimmers in the world, and we're excited to have her on here. And, in fact, we're so excited. Usually we finish up with a game, but our man, Mountain Brian, wants to get going with the game first just to get everything moving here.
Well, first of all, we got to turn over to Katie and say, Katie, welcome. And what are you drinking tonight?
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. I have a coconut LaCroix. Pretty delicious.
There you go.
Is that your favorite flavor?
I think so. Yeah. It's kind of like creamy, you know. It's pretty good. I think that might be my favorite. Just what I have right now.
What would you mix it with? Would you use it as a chaser for anything?
I don't know. I haven't really experimented.
It's good.
Defer.
Try it out.
All right. Well, in the spirit of putting you on the spot, Katie, we're going to start off by putting you on the spot with a series of rapid fire questions. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. What's the hardest race in swimming?
2 fly.
Latex or silicone?
Silicone.
What's your go-to pre-race meal?
Oh, definitely oatmeal with peanut butter.
Ooh, with peanut butter, nice. Name something that gets on Teri's nerves.
Being late.
Are you fast at OG butterfly with the breaststroke kick?
I have never tried it, but I don't think so because I am really just not a breaststroker.
Name someone who inspires you.
My brother.
Nice.
When are face stickers going to be a thing in men's swimming?
They should be already. Why can't boys show some school spirit on their face?
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's coming soon. Maybe we'll try and press the Cal guys to get on that train.
There you go. Uggs or no Uggs?
No Uggs.
Nice. When will a woman go under 2 minutes in the 2 fly long course?
Oh, I don't know. Not for a while, I don't think. Well, I don't know. The world record's a 2:01. That's not too far off.
That's right.
It's been a while. Most of the 09 records have gone down.
Yeah.
If you could have a superpower as a swimmer, what would it be?
To be able to jump really far, because I feel like then you could dive in really far and get far off the walls.
Totally. That's it. You're off the hot seat. But on that point,
That was a good game.
yeah, so the athleticism is totally underrated, I think. Or perhaps it's not. I think that's what we're seeing a lot, especially with athletes coming out of high school now, and you've seen that. Well, that's actually what Dressel is so much better at. He's definitely better at the entry, but on his start, that's world beating. He kills everybody in vertical jump, which we've talked about here. He can out-jump. His strength coach was saying he can out-jump most of the athletes in Florida, all athletes. So,
yeah. I always tell my strength coach that I need him to teach me how to jump like 15 meters. And he's like, okay, yeah, that's the goal. Sure. And I'm like, yep. So I'm entering at 15 one day. Just you guys wait.
You're gonna enter at 15. Well, do you guys ever play the game where you go to try to jump in and touch the flags on your way in?
It scares me.
Yeah, but like it's a little bit hard. I don't really know many girls that can succeed at that game, but
I don't know many guys that can succeed at it. It's
yeah,
hard.
that's true. That is true. It is hard. They're far.
They are far, especially meters flags.
Yeah.
But, well, I guess maybe we could start there. So, what are some of the things that you're working on? To develop that. What are some of the things that you see as opportunities that are kind of in your core line of sight of I got to get better at these things?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like for me, I've always been more of like a long course swimmer. So I've like really always focused on like improving my turns and start and stuff. I feel like I feel confident when I'm like swimming, but like it's like the in between things and those kind of transitions that I think will really help me. And I think like especially in long course, it's like underratedly useful to be good at turns and starts. So that's definitely something I really pay attention to.
You can definitely see that at the international level. And I still don't feel like the world has fully caught up or understood the benefits of details.
Yeah,
Starts, turns, finishes, and relay starts. And I mean, I don't know. You start to see the trend, but the gaps used to be bigger, but they're still pretty big gaps. And I have to say, I still cringe anytime I see really bad underwaters, really bad breakouts. And the one that gets on my nerves the most is people who don't bring their hands together in a streamline on the start before they hit the water.
Yeah, that doesn't make too much sense to me either.
I've never understood it, but you see it a lot.
So
things in the air.
Definitely. You mentioned, improving your vertical jump and doing things. Who are you guys working with? Joel? Is he your strength coach right now? So what are you guys working on with Joel in the weight room to try to help out and transfer those items?
Yeah, I think just like with Joel being really aware of like us as athletes, and I kind of like our whole program at Cal is like figuring out my body and how I can improve as an athlete, like the back of my legs, how like my feet and like Achilles are helping me with my jumping. So like kind of thinking like a little outside of the box instead of just being like really, really strong, being more like athletic. So we do a lot of like contrasting in our lifts. So we'll go from like being lifting heavy to like jumps and stuff like that. So kind of like keeping like everything, like I never feel too crushed in the weight room. So it's mostly like figuring out like how to be more athletic, I guess.
Definitely. And for those that don't know, Joel is Joel Smith. I mean, he's been strength coach at Cal for a while, and he's got more of a track background than swimming background. So obviously he knows a lot about jumping and creating power and all that great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Katie, I like to follow Joel. One of my mentors, he's a big fan of Joel. Very bro comment. What's your favorite exercise in the gym? You had to pick one.
From Joel?
From Joel for dryland, whatever you like to choose.
I don't know. I like a lot of different things. Like I guess like in high school I didn't really lift much, and I like cleaning because like my teammates and I are always like, weight room's looking a little dirty, like we gotta clean today. I don't even know if it's the exercise or more just like we're really excited when the program has a clean on there, because then we can be like, okay, weight room's dirty, guys. Like, time to clean.
Who'd that be for?
That would be my favorite. Like, we always get excited when we see that. Well, maybe other people actually really like that on the team, but that's why I'm excited about it.
Do you power clean from the floor or do you from a hang position?
We do it from like blocks mostly, because in our weight room, there's like, I think someone below us, maybe offices. So like we can't really drop things.
Ooh, that's
there is like a downstairs you can like drop and whatever, but we typically just like do it from blocks.
When you do it from the block, do you catch it on the way down, or do you let it hit the blocks?
I catch it on the way down, but Joel's always like, you can drop it. Like the blocks are there to like let it drop. But like, I'm always afraid that it's going to like roll and hit someone's foot. So everyone else drops it. I set it down, which I could probably improve, but you know.
Any special footwear? Do you do any lifting shoes?
Honestly, we've been going barefoot a lot lately, which is pretty fun. Like, yeah. Some people wear like special shoes, but a couple of us are barefoot in there. Then we can use our feet because it's like in swimming you don't wear shoes, so like you want to get used to using your feet, and so I feel like that's kind of how we work in the weight room. It's like, okay, well, I'm not swimming with shoes on, so why would I lift with shoes on?
So I know you never feel too pinned in the weight room, but when the weight room needs cleaning, how much can you clean?
Oh, I have no idea. That is one thing that I'm always like, Joel, how much is this? What color plates am I putting? I'm not an expert in the weight room at all. I just kind of am like, okay, a green, or what am I doing today?
I was about to say, you're the, I'm a two green and a yellow. I'm a green and a yellow lifter. That's what I know.
Do I do 2 blues today or 2 reds?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I used to do. Yeah.
Some more kilos and like that. I just don't really, I'm not trying to sit there and count how much is on there. I'm like, I can recognize the colors, which I guess like kind of makes me seem unintelligent, but my effort's going into the cleaning instead of the math.
What movie is that where they're playing poker or something, and the guy they go to show hands and he goes, all reds?
I don't know either, but I know what you're talking about. It's definitely a great line.
So I have a quick funny story. In one of my previous internships, we only had colored plates, and so one kid decided to so on his program he had back squats, and he thought I think he had, for some reason, I think it was a red plate, but he put on yellow and green and then another color because he thought the colors combined to actually make the color. And he didn't realize that actually added to make weight. And I was just like, oh no, I'm glad I wasn't there to witness that.
Like kind of how my brain works is like, I'm going to mix these 2 colors to get the weight I want. That's how it should be. That is how it should be. You all start a company and make weights that are color coordinated, and you mix what colors you want to find the weight.
And what you wear to the weight room should match your weights.
Yes, exactly.
And then you get your stickers, and then we're good to go, right?
Yes, if I'm wearing white, all my plates are going to be white. Just a matter of how many.
Exactly. Makes sense to me.
Yes, me too.
Well, hey, and you get to wear that white Finese suit too.
Yes,
nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, very cool. Well, let's take it further on the weightlifting train right now. And I don't know how much access you have to it at the moment, but what's going on in your training life right now? What's quarantine life like?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't been really lifting or doing much. I've just kind of been staying in shape the best I can in any way. I guess I just went home. I'm from Southern California, and I swam in the ocean once. That was my way of swimming, which was nice. Actually, it wasn't that nice. It was 59 degrees, which is I don't really love that. But yeah, so I've just kind of been jogging, yogaing, running a bit. I guess that's jogging, hiking some. I have 2-pound dumbbells that my mom let me take, or they're 3-pound dumbbells that my mom let me take. So I've been kind of trying to
3-pound dumbbells
do that, which I guess is expecting. So
you trying to get ready for spring break?
What? Sorry?
You trying to get ready for spring break?
Yes, exactly. Gonna tone my arms, not really get too much muscle gain, but just a little toning maybe. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be sore when we get back into lifting and swimming, to be honest. But yeah.
What's the dynamic like with your coaches right now? And what are you guys just saying, you know what, don't worry about it. It's okay because that season's so far away. Just enjoy this break that we all get because for what it is, and do some things that you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do? Or is it structured, and are you guys talking about what are the things that you could be doing to be ready to be back in the pool? Kind of what's that like?
Yeah, I think Teri's been really good about kind of just letting us take ownership kind of how we're staying in shape. I guess for me, she is kind of her and I have talked about it, and it's I'm trying to stay in shape the best I can. also with keeping in mind, like when I do get to go back in the pool, like how did I improve, like as an athlete, if that makes sense. So like without being in the pool, how can I improve? So when I get back in the pool, I'm like better off, maybe not like in swimming shape, but better off like with like practicing mental health or like sleeping, like having a good sleep routine, all that kind of stuff that like, or like nutrition or yoga. I never do yoga when I'm training because I'm too tired to like do an extra workout. So like things like that, figuring out like how I can improve so that when I do get back into full training, like I didn't just waste this time. Like I'm taking a mental break from the pool and not like stressing about that. And instead like focusing my energy on like what I can control right now, which is kind of like nutrition, just enjoying like FaceTiming my friends, stuff like that. So that's kind of been our mentality through this, which I think has been helpful because it's not like, I feel like it's like really daunting that I can't be in the pool as often as I want to or really at all. But yeah.
Definitely. And you mentioned kind of mental health, and obviously with the Olympics being postponed, that had to put you through a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. You know, how did you feel when you heard it was postponed, and what is your frame of mind moving forward with it?
Yeah, I think like originally when it wasn't postponed and we all were like trying to train and like trials are still in June and like pools were closing and like the weight room was closing and NCAAs got canceled and all that was happening. It was just like so much stress. And like, I just feel like everyone was like kind of scrambling and not really focusing on like what was really important and like public health and all that. Like just kind of like that wasn't the priority. And now it's kind of like, since everything is postponed, it's kind of like a good time to, like I said, focus on the other things and like not have to worry about training and kind of figuring that out when it comes. Yeah.
Katie, it was hard for you though, because I must imagine, I should say, because in 2015 you had a really good Worlds. You know, you almost medaled in the 200 up to 150. You're doing so well, and then you went to Hawaii. You had that injury in Hawaii, and you still came back in some Pac-12s and did decent, and went to trials, and you finaled in 2-3. You missed the team by a little bit. So you must have thought, you know, 2020 is my time. I've done 4 years of college. I'm now ready. So I'm pro. I'm ready to go for it. And I mean, it must have hurt you this one, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. I think like it was definitely a bummer since I was really looking forward to this year as being like the year that like I could potentially make a team. Obviously in 2016 I had a shot too and it didn't work out, and I'm like okay with that. I've kind of accepted it and I did my best I could then.
Totally.
I think like now it is a bummer that like this wasn't the year that it's happening, but at the same time, like that's out of my control. And like, although all this year and like for the past like 4 years, 5 years, my whole life, like I've wanted to obviously go to the Olympics like every swimmer. And I think like not having the opportunity this year, at first it was really a bummer. And I was like, great, I've been working so hard. How like, great, now I'm just going to take a break or something. Like, I don't even know. I was really like mad about it, but that was only like a day. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to take a break and have a whole year to like improve. And like, I figured out like, I finished college swimming a year ago and I've been pro for a year. And I feel like now I have like another year of just like knowing what that's like and not being on the team. And I feel like it's just a good opportunity to like have a whole nother year to get better. And that's kind of my mentality now, is that like, I would have been in the best position I could have been this June, but now that I have a whole nother year to improve, that's like what I'm kind of taking away, is like, although it's not ideal, it's an opportunity to get even better than I could have with the time that I've had. So
it sounds like a lot of that must come from Teri as well. What Teri brings into you guys, and how close you are, Carl, at Aquatics. Kat last week said about, you know, Teri really makes sure that you guys remember why you love swimming. You know, be that little girl who wanted to race in summer school, right? Summer team. So I'm sure, and what you just said just now about her telling you to work on, you know, your meditative state and just the other things. It sounds like it comes from the top, but also what surrounds you. Talk about your team. Like, how did you all come together? You got a strong niche team. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, like, our team is great. I think like I am someone that's really motivated by my teammates and motivated to perform well for like Teri and my team and my friends. And just because I feel like if I'm doing well, like I'm showing the whole swimming community that like Cal Women Swimming is like where it's at. Like Teri is the one that is like just the best. Like I couldn't like tell you enough positive things about Teri and how much she's done for me. And I think like that's just like she has really made a culture at Cal Women Swimming that is like, obviously I haven't been to any other colleges, but I think like is just something that's so unique. Like it's really cool to like, I just remember like 2019 NCAA is my senior year. Like our team just like, we genuinely had so much like fun and like wanted to race for each other and not for like our own benefit. Yeah. And like, that's just so cool to like be a part of something like that, where it wasn't like, okay, here I go, 100 fly, I want to go a best time. Like, no, it was like, I want to score as many points as I can for my team. Like, we're trying to win out here. Like, I think that's just like something that's really cool. And that's how all my teammates like operate. Like we all, when I like have good races, I remember like one race in particular, like where I finally like broke through after like my injury. It was like all my teammates were like, had tears in their eyes. And that was just like something so special to me, because it's like all of our success is like all of our success. It's not like I did well, that was all me. It's like everyone genuinely is part of each other's like success, which is really cool.
And so that was totally easy move to LA Current, because in ISL, I mean, that was exactly what LA Current was. But you worked with what Dave and Brett and these people, right? So what was that like with the LA Current and with ISL? And what was that like seeing other people experiencing that for the first time? You know, the Europeans who didn't swim in NCs. What was that?
Sure. Yeah, I loved ISL. It was so much fun. And what was really cool about LA Current is like a lot of my Cal teammates that are pro now were on LA Current, like a bunch of the men's team and a bunch of the girls too, like Rita and Amy and Kathleen. And so it was really cool to like get to be a part of a team again. And I feel really lucky that I got to have ISL like my first year being pro. Like I am really motivated by like a team and like everyone feeding into each other and like just having energy like around like all of us performing together. And so I feel really lucky that that was something I got to do like my first year being pro. I think like that was kind of a good like transition between like being on a college team and then kind of like not being on the college team anymore. Yeah, and our team is awesome. Like I didn't go to DC, but like every meet I was at, I feel like everyone was just like so excited to like cheer for each other. And every meet, it kind of got more and more like team. If that makes sense. Like I feel like by the time we, even like from Dallas to Budapest, like 1 week later, like we had spent a whole week together and we were already like, all right, team, like let's take everyone down. And so it was just like cool to like have that again. Like that's like what I love about swimming, is that like it's not just like, okay, let's try and go back, like let's try and get a good time. It's like, no, I want to get a good place for all my friends back here. Like let's go, everyone. So yeah.
What do you think that did to so one of the observations we had, and I would bet the swimmers did too, was that some people were in really good fitness for ISL and some were probably in good fitness, but really in heavy training, maybe not good racing fitness. Yeah. Did that impact the culture of the team at all for the people that were racing really well, or maybe were ready to race for this team versus those that were prioritizing the Olympics when it was still on schedule?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like regardless of where people were at, like everyone really did give everything they had at that moment. Like I wasn't really ready to like go per se, like for ISL, but I think it was more just like the energy of like whatever we all have right now, like LA Current all the way, like whether we are tapered or not, we're giving whatever we have. And I think like everyone, it was kind of cool because everyone understood what, like that everyone was kind of like just going to give what they had. And whether that was resting or not, everyone kind of trusted that that was the best thing for them, given that the Olympics were this year. Like, I think like everyone kind of trusted that if I tapered for an example, like if I tapered for ISL, that was what was keeping me on the path to like make the Olympic team. But if someone like didn't necessarily, everyone kind of trusted that that was what was best to make the team also. I think like everyone kind of knew that like this was an Olympic year and that's the priority, and ISL is something that's fun and a cool opportunity and something we can all like get behind and enjoy. I think, if that makes sense, if that answers your question.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I think, well, what if you had face stickers though? And would everybody go faster? So what if the whole team had face stickers?
Yeah, probably. Maybe I'll get them made.
There you go.
Yeah, so, I wonder if the boys would wear them if we had them. Probably not. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, listen. Okay, so that's your project for next season. Although the season is obviously a little funky. What do you think the ISL could do to improve, to make it catch on? I think those of us who are like into swimming already, a lot of, I mean, it had a huge following.
Yeah.
Probably not a huge following outside of the sport yet. What do you think the ISL can do to improve?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like with getting non-swimmers to become fans of swimming, like it will take some like education. Like it's not easy for someone to just like kind of turn on a swim meet and be like interested, you know what I mean? So I think like, and they have done a good job of like giving the background stories of like, or like kind of setting rivalries, you know, like, okay, these two people like facing off, like this is a really cool race, that kind of thing. I think just like keeping like people educated and knowing like kind of why this is cool. Cause I feel like you could turn it on and be like, oh, swimming, like awesome. But like, no, like these are the best in the world, like racing. Like we have Olympic gold medalists like racing in this meet. It's not just like a meet you're seeing on TV. Like this is actually like a cool thing. And like, I think also like sharing that like it's a cool opportunity for swimming. Whereas like there wasn't always like as many opportunities to like make money as a pro. And I think like if maybe people would be more like, I don't know, would maybe want to be more interested in it or something. I don't know. I think that's something that they could do.
Katie,
go ahead, Luke.
No, I was going to say, one of the things I did a quick little 15-second video to hype the show. And if I was to like hype up your rival, who would be your rival? Like who's like, man, this is my Popov. This is my, you know, who's your rival? And it could be a friendly one, right? You know, I take down John Mullen all the time in practice. Oh
he does. He definitely does.
I don't know if I necessarily have a rival because I feel like I like to do a lot of events.
Come on.
You can tell us.
Yeah.
Who's my rival? Who do you think my rival is? I don't know.
Camila Adams.
I guess, yeah, but Camille's done, and she was like my mentor through it all.
Yeah, but she's still somebody you want to beat and win. I mean, John's my good friend. I want to push his butt.
Come on, there's got to be a Stanford swimmer that's a rival, right?
I think Stanford in general is our rival.
Yeah. Ella Easton, Two Fly. I'm trying to think who else.
Maybe, but Ella and I have been friends since we were like.
Yeah, you guys both SoCal girls, right? So you guys go back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just.
But I think you nailed it.
I can't throw any shade like that.
But I think you nailed it, though. I think, you know, building the rivalries, building that other intrigue is going to be important, especially for just the general swim fans, because we're all super swim nerds. We loved ISL. We were tuned in every time, but we're like, why aren't swimming people watching this? This is great. So, you know, I think it's building those rivalries, building the community, and building the interest is really going to take it to the next level, as well as, I don't know, you guys have any other ideas? Brian, what's one thing the ISL should add?
Well, so I've always been thinking that the game part of it is what's catchy for people. So I'm not so into the traditional events. I think even off distances to me isn't interesting. Like, what was the distance in that movie Swim Fan? It was like 150 free. Like, nobody cares. But I think that what you capture in making a game out of it, out of what the skins is, needs to be infiltrated throughout the whole thing. So, I mean, I've made suggestions before about bonus points for every second or every additional yard that you do after, like, before the second person finishes.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing. It's like, I think that there's opportunities like that throughout the meet. you know, I'm not so much into the two relays per team, and but I would like to see a lot more of the games. Katie, what about the format? What about 2 days format versus 1 day format versus full event slate versus, I mean, you were a high school swimmer, right? So you were in those like dual meets there, and you've been part of college swimming and doing dual meets there. Those are all mostly 1 day. So, I mean, how did that play on? Do you think it should be 1 or 2 days or what?
I thought the 2 was kind of cool because I feel like with swimming, like maybe the first day people would tune in, and then the second, like maybe you could grow the audience or something like that. And I think just like as a swimmer, 2 days is kind of nice because, like, let's be honest, I'm not going to be the one in the 50 fly, 50 free. And like, I don't really want to do like a 4 free, 2 fly, 2 free all in 1 day that badly.
Why?
I could try my best at it, but I mean, and that's kind of like how I guess a college dual meet is. But when you are racing like the best in the world, you kind of got to be on your A game. Whereas like obviously in a college dual meet, I was trying as hard as I could, but it wasn't always like, no, now you're in the 4 IM and you're racing Katinka, so go ahead. You know what I mean? It wasn't that kind of.
So let's say that if ISL was the main thing and Olympics weren't a thing, and you were approaching the season, how would your training change to be best in the ISL format that you experienced? The 2 day format, that event schedule. What would you change about your training?
Yeah. I think like, I guess it is pretty similar to like when you do have like a weekend dual meet kind of thing where like we would race like 1 team on Friday and 1 Saturday morning. And that's kind of like how I approached this season, I feel like, was kind of just thinking about being fast the next day when it's a little harder. I think like also kind of with the schedule of it, like typically in the fall is when I'm like, or most swimmers are like getting in shape and kind of doing like laying the groundwork for the season. So I feel like I didn't have like the speed I necessarily would have wanted to at that time, just because like that wasn't what the like whole goal was for the year. So I think like probably having the groundwork laid like a little bit more in advance and having more of the speed kind of going on when like the ISL meets were, that's something I would change. And I think like I don't know if my training would change much based on like a 2 day format, just because I feel like if I'm at an 8 day meet, I should be able to handle a 2 day meet, you know? So I think as long as I'm training how I am now, like I should be able to do a 2 day meet. Like if I can't do 2 days in a row, we have other issues.
Yeah, definitely, especially for your event schedule.
Yeah.
What about short course meters? Had you done much racing short course meters before? Did that change anything?
No, I had gone to a World Cup with the junior team, like maybe my junior year of high school. And that was the only other time I'd done short course meters. So that was definitely different. And I think the first time it was just like a little confusing. Like, where's the wall? Why is this 100 free on this relay not over yet? Like I typically done 5 seconds ago. That kind of thing was a little bit different. But yeah, I love long course. So short course meters is a step up in my eyes from yards. But I think it was cool for me like this year doing meters, short course meters, because like times didn't really matter. And it was more just like the racing aspect that mattered, if that makes sense. Like that was kind of how I approached the season, was like, well, I don't know what my times are. Every time I get in is probably going to be a best time. So I might as well just practice like racing the people that I hopefully will race like this summer. Summer now.
That's hilarious to hear, Katie, because I come from a non-US centric racing. So college was Canada and international was short course, meters and long course meters. So when I would swim in the US, I'd be like, I don't know what this means, this yard time, but it's really fast. I think world record.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
What swimmers do you what swimmers did you miss racing or miss seeing race, male or female? You know that, you know, any Chinese swimmers, any you know, African swimmers, any swimmers you missed that you hopefully see next year or get added with 2 new teams? Who do you miss?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially being like an American here, like I'm typically used to seeing like all the best US athletes at like these meets. So I think like it just being pros was a little bit like unique. Like I think like having this new class come out, like my teammate Abby Weitzel, like people like that, or like Erica Brown and all the like seniors, or like even like people like Reagan who are like younger who aren't pro that couldn't be in the league. I think that was like kind of a weird twist, like that it was like the best in the world with like a little asterisk, except for all the people that still want to swim in college. So I think like that's kind of like what was weird is like I'm used to going to like, especially Abby, she's on my team at Cal, and like I always go to meets with the US with her, and so it was weird kind of being like at a meet and being like, okay, Abby, like see you when I get back, like peace. So
is that like when you get into a bar and like the underclassmen can't get into the bar and you're like, okay, see ya, we had fun.
And conversely, ISL give you opportunity to race people you never raced before. I mean, you may have gone to blocks and raced a guy, right? You raced, like, who was it fun racing against and, like, gave you some trash talk before? Do you have any stories of, like, you know, your teammate Dylan Carter, did you race against Dylan and Dylan take you down? You never got to race guys before, or I don't know.
Go Trinidad, right, Luke?
Absolutely.
Had to get that in there.
Yeah, I think, like, I, like, got to do some other events that typically internationally I don't do. Like I said, the 400 IM, like I have really no business being in an international field in the 4 IM, but like that's what my team needed at the moment. So like racing, like I said earlier, like Katinka in a 4 IM, I was just like, okay, honestly, like she's got it. I'll be over in lane 8 trying my best. But like, so it was cool to like kind of be in like, cause you always like, not that you hear what people are like in the ready room, but like, I guess it was cool being in the ready room with like people I'm not normally with, or like I did a bunch of 4 frees and like, I'm not bad at like a 4 free, but I would never be in an international 400 free. So I guess
we love seeing that.
And
we love seeing you guys swim these races. We love seeing Kathleen Baker swim breaststroke or Flora Marty do swimming 50 breast. We love seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is cool. And I think that's like what I liked about ISL too, was like, you know, I love like obviously swimming 100 fly, 200 fly, 200 free, 100 free, whatever. But like, I also like to race backstroke and IM, and I guess like doing it at a like bigger scale is really cool, just because like instead of it being a dual meet where I get to do a 2 back, like I didn't get to do a 2 back this time, but like I got to do breaststroke in an international meet. Like whoever would have thought that I would get to do breaststroke against?
It's not a stroke.
Not me, to be honest. So
all right, last question for me, then I have to get off early, unfortunately. This is a great conversation, and like I said, we loved ISL, and I don't know, I think the one-day format would have been better, get more people, get more excitement, as well as I think they still have to figure out who their main audience is. Is it going to be the swim nerds, or is it going to try to reach a larger audience? So those are my thoughts on it, but one question I wanted to ask you is, out of all-time female swimmers, historical female swimmers, everyone, who do you think would be the best female ISL swimmer of all time? Then we can get these other guys' thoughts.
Oh,
that's a good question. I don't know. I think like, just like, I guess because I went to Cal, maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm not, but I think Natalie Coughlin would be like a very great ISL swimmer. Like she could swim really anything, like all kind of the shorter distances, and like it's not like she was like, oh, okay, I'll do 1 event a day. It's like, no, she was just like would race. So I think that is like Natalie would be great at ISL, and she did it this year also, which is good.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Luke, who do you have, historian?
I was gonna say Nat, but also like Agazagi, but maybe like a Dawn Fraser or somebody, you know, like the one of the most dominant female swimmers of all time, or even Jenny Thompson. Sorry, Stanford, but you know, just one of these dominant who went to the Olympic Games and could just lay down event after event after event and just rock it. But Natalie has a backstroke, the butterfly, the freestyle. Natalie probably got the most points, and she could handle the skins, I figure.
I don't know. I don't know if she could win the skins. I mean, Sostra might be one of the best that we're seeing right now. Yeah. Or I was thinking Inga de Bruin. I mean, she can't go up to the 200 though, but she was what was that, late 90s, rocking the sprints, that's for sure.
No, totally.
Brian, you got anyone?
No, I mean, so Natalie's a good call. I should have known you were going to say it, Katie, because I think, I mean, Natalie in her prime, right? So, just absolutely lethal short course. I'm excited to see somebody like Vita Nelson when she gets in, and you already hit a couple of the others, to see Abby and Erica to compete in it. It makes me think about, John, if you go Jed, it makes me think about what if you had so the people that are going to compete in ISL being paid only, right? So it's only the pros. I'm wondering what's going on in the college environment right now with especially your teammates, Katie, in California, right? So there's this new California law about getting paid and what that does to eligibility. And we're all looking at somebody like Reagan, going, okay, so how's this going to impact your future? And do you still have eligibility? Is that something that, I mean, obviously you're not on the team anymore, but you're so connected and training together. Is that something that all your teammates are talking about and trying to sort out?
I think it was definitely like kind of a little bit of a buzz, like when that first all like kind of got released, but I haven't really heard too much about it. I think like what I've kind of heard is like in the swimming community, something that would be really big would be like just being able to like use your name to like teach swim lessons or do like clinics and stuff like that. I think like that would be a really big thing for swimmers, especially because, I mean, if we're being honest, it's not like swimming is the highest profile sport, and it's not like everyone would just all of a sudden, I mean, maybe, I don't know, have all these deals rolling in. Like definitely some would, but I think like that would be the biggest thing for swimming is like getting to use like one's own accomplishments to like help them like teach lessons or like kind of use themselves to like make some money, if that makes sense.
It does.
Right,
I think we're going to pause here.
Note, but get these swimmers paid and these athletes paid. I'll leave it on that. But Katie, thank you very much. I love chatting with you. Sorry, I got to jet early. Okay. All right. Take care.
So in terms of the payments to athletes and your likeness, so first of all, I agree with that line of thinking, and I think if we're honest, the rules have changed over time too. So and also it's enforced differently in different places. So at different schools, in different athletic departments, interpretation is so huge, right?
Yeah.
I think now. And this has been, most of our lives at this point, but for some of us, we experience different things, not in the digital age. So the scrutiny and the awareness, the scrutiny that you're under as today's student athlete is very different than student athletes of the past.
Mm-hmm.
And just to say it, like I heard rumors of athletes getting paid, especially football players, as a student athlete myself.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that it's still happening today. You hear about it every few years or so that there's a major bust of some sort. And so, so I think that there does need to be some dividing line between what is, legally you're able to use your likeness and benefit off of the accomplishments that you have had versus infringing on sort of the institution and the contract that that you sign and the university basically benefiting off of your likeness. So I don't know where the middle ground is, but I think that it may be somewhere where you've outlined, right, that somewhere in the intersection of drawing the line at what you do and your accomplishments, so long as it's not promoting Cal athletics or something like that, it should be permissible. And I think that most certainly we have to think about amateurism in a very different way than it used to be. My only concern is, what does it do for the have-nots? So for the programs, for the people that can come and benefit off their likeness and still get a college scholarship at a great institution, versus those that, you know, perhaps cannot. I think, you know, I just want to be wary of what happens, and so that it doesn't decrease opportunities inadvertently, and unintentionally.
Yeah, I like hope the spirit of that is to like increase opportunities and not like take away from other people. Because I mean, like obviously how it is now gives a lot of people opportunities, especially that wouldn't have it without like getting sponsorships and all that. Gives people like the chance to play or swim at the next level. And I hope like that is what it should be about, is like giving people opportunities and not like holding people back if they could do something like greater, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Luke.
I was wondering if, Katie, you want to do one more game that we just made up. That's
Sure.
what happened over there. I've got some photos that we were using in our promos, and when I look at these photos carefully, and you look carefully, like what's really going on here. So I'm going to put some photos up of Brian, Justin, and I. And I want you to just look at it and figure out like what's going on in these photos. I don't have any photos of you, so I won't embarrass you, okay? But the first one I'm going to start off with is this guy. Justin, share that screen, Justin. There we go. So that's Justin. He sent me this photo for the promo. Katie, what's your thoughts on this?
Oh, God.
Killing the person next to him because they're still going the other way.
That's the point.
So he's probably like, okay, like here I go. I'm doing great out here.
Justin, what happened here? Are you getting lapped? Are you lapping somebody?
No, I'm passing this. So this is my last ever 409 in college. So I remember before they start you, I fist bumped the guy next to me on my left, and that guy I fist bumped as well because we're like, oh God, this is a rough one. And this dude's like actually twice my size, but
he's like ahead of you. How far away ahead of you or behind?
No, he was behind me quite a bit on the breaststroke, but you know when you're in a race, you're not really thinking. But I remember turning at the breaststroke, I'm like, oh, I'm way ahead of this guy. This is kind of nice.
Do you know what the loggers are? Have you heard of that team, the loggers?
No.
Listen, dig it up.
They're the University of Puget Sound. They're a small school in Tacoma, Washington.
Small but mighty. All right, let's see if this one shows up. Let me stop sharing now. And Justin, can you this one? I'm gonna stop sharing this one, and I'm gonna try this one now. This one, I think it's hilarious. All right, Justin, say this one. Katie, what's happening here?
Oh dear God.
Victory is happening right there.
It's happening. What's going on?
I think he just is pumped about what he just did.
Pastiness. That's what's happening right there.
Ryan, is that for an ad?
What's going on?
What is going on?
Yeah. So there was, let's see, what year was this? 2013 or something. We did this. There was a promo of doing a swimmer's calendar. So we were doing this whole like photo shoot. So I went to Charlotte, and yeah, there was a bunch of swimmers that were part of this thing to do a swimmer calendar, and that was totally a photo shoot.
Did you raise any money?
Oh God!
How many calendars you sell?
I don't know. I wasn't involved in that. I was only paid for the shoot. That was it. But they didn't ask me to get tan, and I'm glad that they didn't do that.
Oh man.
Man.
I'm gonna shame myself because if I shame other people, you gotta shame yourself as well. So Brian, you can start the shaming right now if you like. Katie, what's going on with this one? You gotta guess what year. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh dear God. This looks recent.
What year is that?
Are you 19? Katie, go ahead.
I don't know.
1854.
18 what?
1854.
Are you wearing Speedo Sprints?
Yeah. And those are like.
I love the cap.
What year is that? Come on, Katie, guess it.
1999. I have no idea.
Earlier.
Wait, hold on. Pause,
95.
Pause.
95.
Look at the guy to the right. Look at his entry. I just noticed that.
What's wrong there?
I tried to be
hold on.
Jaeger. I tried to be Jaeger, but no.
I'm sure you get. Look how low those blocks are. That's
Oh my
that's summer league right there. Look how short they are.
Oh my god.
95.
I can't take my eyes off of Guy breaststroking in the air. Oh my gosh! Look how much swim meets have changed. That actually reminds me of how much walking out for a big meet has changed too. You know, we were talking, Katie, about Olympics where, you know, in the old days, and not even that long ago, London actually was the last Olympics where they did this, where they paraded the heat out together.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it was kind of like that in London, mostly in 08 in Beijing, where everybody was one heat sitting behind the blocks, and then you did the whole America, and you hold your, you know, hands with your teammates when you get announced, but you're behind the blocks at that point. Then they changed to this whole like WWE style, everyone come out and
on Cena.
there was a day when that was different. Did you have an ideal walkout song or anything?
I don't know. I kind of am good with whatever. Usually I have my own headphones going on in there, but yeah.
What's playing?
Oh, it depends on the day. I really like Charlotte Lawrence. Not sure if you guys know Charlotte Lawrence. That's a good go-to. Yeah, I think anything really up-tempo, maybe something a little exciting. Whatever I'm feeling at the moment, really. Nothing really in particular. That's not a very good answer, but that's fine.
That's all right. I understand that it changes from time to time.
Katie, we're gonna do a quick transition. We have a question from the comments here from a Quinn Fitzgerald, and he's asking, why did you sign with Finis?
Good question, Quinn. I signed with Finis because for a lot of reasons. One, I love their suit. That was the first thing that like I kind of knew about Finis, is other than using the snorkel and fins growing up. I got to try their suit like right after I finished my eligibility, and I just felt like there was so much about that suit that like I really appreciated. Like I felt like so much thought and like time and effort went into making the suit, not just to check the box to be like all the other guys, but I feel like they really kind of went out, not too outside of the box, but really like put a lot more thought and effort into creating something that would like really help me swim instead of just compressing me. So I feel like one, that's one. And two, I think just in general, Finis as a brand is something that's really cool. I mean, I first off think it's really cool because they're also located in NorCal. So it's cool to have like a kind of a connection there. And I think too, like also just like Finis's whole like mentality about like loving the water and just swimming is like something I really like align with. Like that's what I love about swimming, is just getting to be in the water and challenging myself and figuring different things out and like hanging out with my friends and being in the sun and like just kind of playing and enjoying things and also trying to get better in that. And I think that's like exactly what Finis is all about, is like really enjoying the water and coming up with creative and fun ways to like enjoy it and also be like a better swimmer. So yeah.
So now that you're using a Finis kickboard, tell me about a set that you've done that you were just screaming for the coach to tell you, okay, social kick.
Oh, I don't know. I think like, especially in high school, I did a lot of like butterfly. Just that was kind of our thing, which I guess is good. We did a lot of yardage, and I think just there was one. I think we did like 40 or 50s fly long course on like 45. So basically, just we were going straight through them. Like I wasn't really going very fast because that was a lot. And before it, a couple of my friends and I were like, no, I think this is wrong. Like we can't do this, but we allegedly finished it. Well, we did, but it was really a struggle. But halfway through, I remember being on the wall being like, we're still going. Okay. Yeah, thank you. We'll just keep going here.
Yeah, Katie, I can relate. I was a 200 flyer. I remember my last year of college, and it doesn't sound crazy, but we were doing, I forgot, X number 25s where you go 25 on 25, 1 on 20, 1 on 15.
Oh, that's very hard. That's straight.
I questioned my life.
Yeah.
But Katie, you went to a good school, right? Cal Berkeley is a good school. Pretty good. Like one of the top 10. You graduated officially.
Yes, I did.
You are educated.
Yes.
You still swimming 200 fly?
I'm moving slowly away from it. Like,
I know.
I do it to make my 100 better, and because like I'm not about to just do one event a day at a meet. So I'm slowly being like, okay, 2 free, 100 fly. I'm going over there, Teri. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
100 fly, pretty sweet. Yep.
Yeah, that one is very fun.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
puzzle.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you do more things on all events, even if you're trending more toward the 100. That 100 is getting really fast, by the way. So follow where the strength is. But Katie, it's been a pleasure having you on today. We've enjoyed talking with you. Thanks for being on the Social Kick podcast, and cheers.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much.